Are you staining your split flags after you put the flag together? If you are, you need to stop, and I'll tell you why. Hey, what's going on, guys? In this video, I want to share with you the new process that I take to stain my split American flags. In the past, I've put the flags together and stained either by freehand or by using a tape method. The freehand method is a little bit harder because you have a higher probability of getting stain in the stripes that you don't want. The tape method works, but it is more time consuming. What I've recently started doing is staining the flag when it's not put together. I stain individual stripes. I find that using this method is actually more efficient. And if you've watched any of my other videos, efficiency is very important to me. In this video, I want to show you how I use that method on a Mexican American flag build. Let's go and jump right into it.
Like most projects, I start ripping my material down to size on the table saw. For all the dimensions, please make sure to check out the video description. This is going to be a large flag, so I cut my union to 4.5 inches tall and 19 3/4 inches wide. My stripes were ripped to 2 inches. Once I had all the strips cut out, from the strips I cut, I got a short strip and a long strip and lined everything up to the union. Imagine that these are stripes number 7 and number 8. Stripe number 8 is 48 inches long. And I use that as a guide to be able to cut stripe number 7 to size. With number 7 cut to size, I then use it as a template to cut out stripes 1 through 6. I have a video on this process if you'd like to check it out for a more detailed explanation. With everything cut to size, this is a good time to sand everything.
I think in the last video where I showed you how to make a Mexican American flag, I did this part where I just used a pencil to divide the flag. So that stays the same. The difference is going to be when we stain it. At the time, I had put everything together and stained everything while everything was already attached. This time around, we're going to create our split, and while everything is still unattached or not put together, that's when we're going to actually start painting. So let me go ahead and start doing the split first, and then I'll show you what we do next.
When I split the flag, it's always random. I always envision where I want my eagle to be, and based on that, I make my split line. In this case, the customer wanted more green, so I just took that into consideration when making my split line.
Now that I have my split made, I'm going to make the divisions, the 3 divisions here, because I'm going to have the green side, the white, and then the red of the Mexican flag. So what I like to use is the edge of this union and then just bring that straight down, and that will be the green side of the flag. And then whatever's left here on the right hand side, I just divide that by 2.
For the green side, I like to measure the union width and make a mark that same size or that same width on the bottom stripe. This allows me to accurately place my tape on the flag. Keep in mind the flag isn't attached at this time, so be careful not to move your stripes. You want everything to line up correctly when you do attach everything together.
I'm just going to use a piece of old clothing that I cut out, and I'm going to stain the green portion of the flag. Just a quick tip: when you're staining, don't go towards the tape, move away from the tape. Even if you have to start on top of the tape, that's better than going towards it, because if you go towards it, your likelihood of actually getting stain underneath the tape increases. That's just something I've discovered through a lot of staining. So let's go ahead and stain this. Once I get to my line is there. I don't know if you can see that, but my split line that I drew with my pencil is there. So make sure not to go above that. Keep to the right hand side or below it, because this is where it's supposed to be green. Hey guys, I just want to take a moment and share with you that the sponsor for this video is AE Timber and Pine. It is us. We have hats, we have shirts, and if you want to support the channel, that's one way that you can do it. You could also subscribe and share the content. And lastly, we just recently opened up a Patreon account, and if you'd like to help us out through Patreon, we would really appreciate it. Anyways, let's go ahead and jump right back into the build. All right, so now the green is complete. Let's go ahead and take the tape off and see how it comes out. We had a little bit of bleeding there, so what we can do is just use a screwdriver and remove that. But other than that, we got a pretty straight line.
With the green side completed, I divide the remaining section of the flag in half for my white and my red sections. I make a mark on the bottom stripe indicating the half point, and also make a half point mark closer to the split line. This again allows me to correctly align my tape. I like to stain the red side of the flag first, so make sure to place the tape on correctly to be able to do that. When staining the red parts, I focus on the Mexican side first. So although some of the stripes will be completely red because of the American stripes that are also red, I won't do those yet. I like to wait until the red of the Mexican flag is done. Once I'm done with the Mexican side, I stain the American red stripes, ensuring that I do not go below the split line. I did this off camera, but you can see here what it should look like. At some point, make sure to stain your union blue in preparation for carving. I use my Shapeoko to complete this union. If you don't have a CNC, don't even worry about it. I suggest using a Dremel to carve your stars. I did hand carve stars for several years before upgrading. Check out my video on how to carve stars if you need help with that. Once I had the union completed, I flipped the stripes over from left to right. This is very important because if you don't do this, you're going to attach your flag incorrectly. And if you build flags long enough, it's inevitable that you'll forget and attach everything backwards. I've been there. With the flag flipped over, it is time to attach the support strips. I attached the left and right strips near the edge of the flag and one strip over the seam over the union and the stripes. I like to use a minimum of a 2-inch strip for my seam. Everything else is 1.5 inches. The last support strip was aligned closer to the left hand side. This is to allow for an area large enough to place a freedom cleat, or also known as a French cleat. With the flag now put together, I recommend to torch the flag except for the white area of the Mexican flag. This is because you are able to use a large torch right now to torch everything. Once you add the Mexican eagle, you have to be more delicate with your torching. Since we're transferring an image, you don't want to melt that image. Since I did have the torch out, I also took advantage of the time and flipped the flag over and torched the back as well. For the freedom cleat, I ripped some leftover material to 3.5 inches. Once that was cut to size, I then angled my table saw blade to 45 degrees and cut the material to have a 45-degree angled cut on the side. Either repeat this process on a second strip of material or do this on a piece of material that is long enough to get you 2 pieces. One piece will be attached to the flag and the other piece will be attached to the wall. Once the freedom cleat was completed, I decided to add one last support strip underneath the cleat. I had never done this before, but I felt that it was necessary since this flag was very big. Finally, I flipped the flag over and stained the final part of the flag white using Minwax Marshmallow and a foam brush. I like using a foam brush because it goes on thicker than using a rag. While we let the paint dry, let's talk about the eagle. I like to use Avery shipping labels to print the eagle. I take the labels off and print on the shiny part of the label paper. To achieve this, you have to use a laser jet printer. Since it was a larger printout of the eagle, it printed on 4 pages because I had to blow it up to 150%. Once it was printed, I cut the pages so that everything aligns and attached everything with painter's tape. Once the eagle was put together, I flipped it over and positioned it over the split line. Since the paper is see-through, I was able to make my cut mark to match the split line. I then cut the eagle and used Mod Podge to transfer the image. I like to apply the Mod Podge on the eagle rather than the flag. It allows me to have more control over this process. I usually wait a whole night before taking off the paper, but this time I waited about 4 hours before taking it off and it transferred the image correctly. Most of my eagle transfers aren't perfect, and that's okay. It goes with the rustic theme. But if you have a better way of transferring an image, let me know. I like using the label paper because I don't have to use water to remove the paper, but maybe specific transfer paper would do better. Once the eagle was transferred, I torched the white area of the flag using a small torch. These torches are small for getting into smaller, tighter areas. It's also nice for burning a split line as well. Another tip is to use a piece of scrap wood as an edge to give you nice burn lines. This reduces the chances of your burn line becoming larger and getting into areas that you don't want. With the flag now completely torched, I added a coat of water-based polyurethane to finish it. And here's the final product. What do you guys think?
Let me know in the comments below what you guys think about this method. And if you have a different process, let me know in the comments below. I'll see you guys on the next video.